I was definitely reading that over in Tagwig, well, the prison out there in Manila, there's a big deal going on with immigration. This immigration, the whole prison system, on how people are sneaking in phones and they're able to utilize their gadgets and so forth. So now the penal system is actually coming down pretty strong on people that are utilizing these things. Let's see if I can get rid of this other thing here. Boy, let's see. Yeah, hold on here. Okay. Sorry, just kind of playing around with this phone here. Okay. No, it's just going to have it's not going to be a really dragged out video or live stream this morning. It's just going to be kind of an open forum. Share your thoughts, whatever. Yes, you can talk about just about any subject on here at all. Just make sure the questions are pretty direct. Don't write in cryptic. Get your questions out or share your thoughts. It's okay for today's session. It's pretty much an open forum. So, hello, Patrick. Well, don't get into an accident listening to me. I'm not worth an accident to anybody. If I go in and get rid of this allergy, I'd be okay. I conquered something else, but my sniffling, always there. I guess we'll have to take allergy pills every day, and I don't do that. But anyway, that's not important to you, is it? Okay. So begins a new day. Changes are happening. Events are happening. Some of them you might think is worth celebrating, and some maybe not. According to what type or part of the fence, what side of the fence you're on, I guess. But yeah, the penal system out here is coming down on usage of phones, other paraphernalia, and the penal system's getting a bad name. So the commissioner is coming down pretty strong on these issues. I was just reading an article here on YouTube, not on YouTube, it was on a Google News thing for local shit. I personally never thought that you should have certain privileges when you're incarcerated. And I can certainly understand having a privilege to utilize a phone to contact a family member, things like that, contact an attorney, things like that. But, you know, just for pleasurable shit. I mean, the idea is you're locked up because you did something wrong. And it's not playtime. We could sit there and play fucking Xbox and get on social media and defame people. Well, when you're on the shorter end of the level, like a detention center, for example, let's use that as an example, where, you know, it's pretty loose around there, okay? And you can get away with a whole lot of shit. And some people manage to do that, but they're tightening their belts on shit like this. I guarantee you, if you're in a regular prison, that you're not going to have these privileges. So there's always hope at the end of the rainbow. That's for sure. God, I've been seeing videos on here, Old Dog, and everybody's kind of rehashing just about everything else. Rehashing some old hash. Whether it's safe to go to the Philippines, whether Philippines is a place you'll be happy, always talking about cost of living. But when you run a show, whether it's Old Dog, New Tricks, or anybody else, or Philippines Information Channel, all these regulars that just constantly are repetitive, and the same old, just kind of maybe revamped a little bit. It comes to a point that, I mean, there are a lot of things to talk about the Philippines. You could talk about living in dangerous areas, and I don't mean getting robbed or killed by an individual, but people tend to build in very treacherous areas on a hillside that would normally, if you get flooding, you're going to get landslides. But people, look, I went up the mountain when I was up in Baguio, and it was amazing what I've seen. I've seen these little housing structures right on a cliffside. I mean, right there. They were right at the edge of the cliff. And there'd be at least 1,000-foot drop or something. And they would build these structures there. And I don't get it. I don't get it. There is erosion from rainfall and so forth. I wouldn't dare. Or if an earthquake came, it could knock the structure apart and there you go. You're gone. But there's a lot of things that still surprise me in the Philippines, or maybe don't surprise me. It's kind of a trip living here, actually, you know, even after all these years. I'm always learning something new about the culture. I'm always learning something new about the basic living conditions of people out here all the time. Okay, who we got? Yeah, Patrick. Ricky previously did a video and stated that this particular person was being held because Dimples had a case on him. No, nothing to do. Dimples bowed out on that shit. No. That's not why he's being held. I've said this on my show numerous times. I guess we'll do an allowance on this show about this particular guy, because I did say it was an open forum. It's not my preference, but you see, what happened was my attorney filed 2 separate legal cases. One was for cybercrime. One was for his immigration overstay. 2, repeat, so I don't have to repeat anymore. 2 separate cases. The case on immigration went through, and it prompted the agents to go and arrest him with the help of information provided as to his probable whereabouts. And there was a lot involved with that, because before the agents would even come, they had to be sure, so they didn't waste their time, that he was actually there when he was. They wouldn't have done that. And quite frankly, a lot of people that are doing overstay, they move from place to place. Immigration is overloaded with these kind of cases all the time. And potentially people can get away with immigration overstay for quite a period of time. But through my efforts and my attorney, and I've had extra help on this, to get exactly his location, to know that he was actually there. We suspected, but we had to really know before they would even come down. Nobody was paid off. That's all bullshit. That's illegal. Nobody was paid off in any form or way. My lawyer's time was paid, because every time he has to do something for me, in this case, he accompanied the agents, but his own vehicle. There was an outside person who was involved in this, who knew the exact location of where his girlfriend's house was, where we figured he was staying, but we had to be sure. So when we all got the pieces together on the puzzle, it was time. You know, the iron was hot. You got to strike when the iron's hot. But they gathered together. They made the trip. Okay, my lawyer was very involved in this because he was handling this case. He wanted to be witness to the arrest, in part to satisfy me, and the arrest was made, and the rest is, it's history. Yeah, absolutely. 10 months approaching. Now, I think there's going to be a lot more time than that. I really didn't want to come up with this topic here, but since I had released yesterday, which you probably all saw, some odds and ends of some of the things he's been saying on YouTube since he's still incarcerated. And I could actually use that material. Normally, and a lot of that is actually on video, but some of it is not. But I think it actually could be utilized because we already established an identification on him. Okay, so that could be acceptable, actually, could be admissible. If anything, it could be put down as aggravating circumstances. So we'll see what happens with that. Nevertheless, I wanted everybody to hear this and kind of make a compilation of some of the things he's been saying since he's in lockup and utilizing his phone, which he shouldn't, and how cocky this motherfucker is. And yeah, obviously there's something wrong with him. I mean, that's no excuse though, but there's obviously something wrong with the guy. Because anybody in their right mind who has 5 official charges on him is going to come back and commit the crime at the same time? What is he, like an arsonist? Ever see some of these guys, you hear about these stories, how they light fires, and they like to come back to the scene to watch the damage or something? It's kind of like that. It's like he can't help himself. And he doesn't realize that he's burying himself. You know, my honest truth, not cocky, it's just plain stupid. Yeah, I would probably have to agree with you on that. You know, my idea on this is that he made a mistake when he pleaded not guilty. He should have pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, because this is not going to work very well in his favor. Because the difference between pleading guilty to a lesser degree and pleading not guilty and have to face the full brunt of the charges and whatever it is that they're going to bestow upon him, or whatever they do, whatever they decide to do. I can't predict the future. I don't think it looks good, quite honestly, and I don't think anybody else does either. But let's say these charges do go down against him and he gets convicted. Well, if he had pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, it wouldn't be as severe as what the judge can potentially put on him. So, was it smart? Not, I mean, he knows I got evidence, but you got to think clearly. If somebody has evidence against them, and they know you do, and you're not going to be able to fight that evidence, it's best to put yourself on the mercy of the court and just say, hey, I'm going to plead guilty to this, even reluctantly, you can even use the word reluctantly, to a lesser charge. But by admitting, or saying rather, that I'm pleading not guilty, the charges he's going to get is going to be far more severe if convicted than if he pleaded guilty to a lesser charge, okay? Okay. He claimed in a video that you need to give him a zip drive with the... No, he's thinking it's going to be inadmissible. You see, he didn't have a lawyer doing a counter affidavit or anything on this. The time of his arrest, whatever. He received, you know, the zip drives, the cards don't go in his hands. It's given to a representative. It's given to an attorney. It doesn't go to him. That's why he needed an attorney at the time. That's where he's wrong. It's not going to be inadmissible. They're not going to dismiss the case as he's hoping, saying that, hey, I never received the cards. Well, he's not supposed to receive the cards. He was supposed to have been represented, and whoever's representative is the ones to receive the cards, and then they could do like a counterclaim, or rather a counter affidavit, having the evidence in hand. That's how it works. Yeah, that's how it works. I know he's not the most intelligent person in the world. That's for sure. And boy, he's proved that so many times I can't even count. Anyway, not my favorite topic here, but you know what? Life moves on. You know, Fazio died. Life will still move on without Fazio. Fazio will become a distant memory at some point, like everything else will on here. If I drop dead, I'll become a distant memory. If you drop dead, if you have a show on here, you'll become a distant memory. Maybe somebody will bring you up every now and then, but it's an era that's over for someone like Michael, for example. It's over, it's done, it's gone. Whatever damage he's done to anybody is now null and void. And he's suffering. Hello. Oh, Gary, how you doing? Gary? Oh, yeah, Gary Bonoya. Yeah. So, Gary, you familiar what's going on with, I might ask, is his brother going to be coming down to claim whatever, possessions, ashes, whatever is going on? Is he going to be buried? Is he going to be cremated? How about his belongings? Is his brother, I don't think he had the greatest relationship with his brother. So what's happening with that is his brother traveling to the Philippines while he's still on ice, or what's going down with that? No. Thorne, Tom is ill, but he is in communication with him. Oh, okay. Patrick wants to know what a cybercrime is. A cybercrime has many facets. It could have to do with industry. I mean, it's a lot of things. Personal, it could be industry. It's when somebody makes a defaming comment about somebody else that ruins their reputation, okay? And whether it's defaming the memory of somebody who's alive or dead, okay, that's a crime. In his case, as you know, he tried to label me as a child molester, which is probably one of the heaviest things you could say about anybody. And there's death threats and all kinds of shit like that thrown in the pot. But concentration on the child molester thing. He seems to think that he has freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of speech to a point. You can't come on public social media and ruin the reputation of somebody to say untruthful things about the character of a person, okay? Highly illegal. There is no freedom of speech as he thinks there is. He's mocked the cops, the judge, the prosecutor, me. He's told people to go call my family up and tell them that I'm a child predator. What he did is not an excusable offense. That's why they got cybercrime laws. You can't come on. For example, Patrick, if you were a YouTuber, and I came on there like every single day for how many years, okay? And I called you a child molester over 3-4 years. It doesn't have to be that long, but it shows a consistency of the crime. You wouldn't be happy. Let's say, Patrick, I don't know your situation, if you're retired or nothing, if you're still working. What if that got out? I mean, it's just like a woman could cry rape in the street, or maybe her boyfriend broke up with her or something, or some guy she didn't like. She could cry rape. Your reputation is already ruined, whether you're innocent or not. That gets out to family, to neighbors, to the boss, to the church. Whether you're guilty or not of raping a woman, for example, I'm using that as an example, you get fired because people have doubts. They start looking at you differently. You could be the pillar of the community. But if a woman yells rape, very powerful words, just as calling somebody a child molester, very powerful words. You could ruin somebody's reputation if it's done publicly, willingful, on public media, social media, which has the potential to reach thousands of people. And it shows up on Google when you put things like that. So somebody looks up your name and they see somebody's trying to label you as a child molester. Your peers, old friends, old girlfriends, relatives, people see this shit. Your reputation's gone. That's it. Guilty or innocent, your reputation is gone. Yeah. Oh, communication with Daisy. Okay. No, it's okay, Gary. This is an open forum. Who am I, by the way, is Barry. And we're going to remove him. Fucking coward you are. He's butthurt because he knows he's in a lot of trouble. That's the bottom line here. And he knows there's mounting evidence on him. He's heard his own words. Every time he comes on, tell me what I did wrong. Where's your evidence? I never said a bad word about you. Well, that little tiny compilation of things I just put on, that's just a sample of all the years and the shit he said against me. Very self-incriminating material. And you'd have to be a real bobo to do that. And to say that on public media. And he did. Well, there you go. Okay. MJ. Frank, young having been a... Hey, I'll talk about Fazio anytime I want. I get to devote whole shows about him if I choose to. It's my channel. You don't have to listen, fuckface. Fazio is no innocent person. I'm trying to be very kind about him. And the shows I did do, I showed respect for the fact that I don't want to see anybody to put pictures of his dead pictures on there. And whether or not he's done anything to you or not, if a man is dead, just kind of leave it that way, okay? I made mention that he's done a lot of shit against me, which he did. And had a right to say that because he did. But what I'm saying is about him that he is dead. And it's done and over. Once somebody is dead, don't devote shows to somebody mocking them like Ricky would do or something. When they're dead, they're gone. You got to show a little respect at that point. That's all I'm saying, MJ. And shut the fuck up anyway. He says I've been very vile about Fazio. You're not a young gun. I've been a chainsaw. So fuck. Don't worry about my personal habits. I'm not dying, and I'm not dead yet. I think I got a lot of life in me. I take care of myself, other than one vice. I take care of myself in many other ways. My time comes, it comes. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I'd worry more about yourself, MJ. Because your fucking attitude gets you in trouble. That's why you got attacked. Get my point? You would have got attacked by somebody if you didn't, if you had shut your mouth. Somebody already attacked you. So you have no say in anything. Just get the fuck off my show. Fucking idiot. Nobody respects you anyway, man. Yeah, I saw Rich Wrong's video. I did see that. Kind of funny. But hey, I'm not going to sit here. Let's see. Mentally ill is the best description of the cockroach. He collectively has many mental disorders involving significant changes in thinking, emotion, behavior observed over time. No doubt about it. He's not normal in any respect, and anyone who would look at his videos, as well as they did on Fazio's videos, would know that, something was just not right. Hey, I'm honest on here. It doesn't faze me that Fazio passed away. It don't faze me at all. I just think that stupidity travels a long way. He could have taken care of his problems. He was the responsibility of his own death. He caused his own death because he was too petty to have things taken care of. He didn't want to spend any money. Is it my fault he died? Is it your fault he died? No, it's his fault. His fault. Okay, I see in the chat you were accused of saying Dave molested his niece, blah, blah, blah. If that was true, it would be considered a cyber crime. Well, the wording on there is not exactly precise or concise on that. The whole community thought that something was going on with this guy because all of a sudden he got a lawyer. And this niece of his got a lawyer. There's something that transpired because the girl was living at his house. That's all it was. And people made a big thing about it. It raised a lot of eyebrows. It certainly did. That something was going on that wasn't right. And that's as far as I'm going to go on regarding that guy. It wasn't just my reaction, it was other people's too. Something was not right. So people made their own conclusions, whatever it might have been. Of course, he was never going to discuss it with his audience, but he did come on. And he did indicate that something was not right going on with his niece. Something happened in the house, something. Then the niece was upset, the niece's family was upset, and they got a lawyer, then he had to get a lawyer. So, with that information, it certainly would make you think that something happened. And whatever it was, it was. But a lot of people came on there at the time They made their own conclusions. If there was some kind of foul play going on or something was going on. Okay? And you know YouTube. Okay. Let's see. Gabriel says Fazio was a terrible person. He used Daisy like she was a slave and paid her peanuts. The second she found someone else, she left. That's true. Well, I don't know what that woman is doing with MJ anyway. I have no idea. I don't know how that's going to work out, getting her to come to America. I don't really give a shit what MJ does, to be honest with you. He's very insignificant to me. He's probably one of the most insignificant people to me on, not the top of the list though, but he's insignificant to me. He's not even a real vlogger. I mean, he does shows getting high on his fucking weed, you know, a real Sterling character, you know. Smoking his fucking dope and his 50,000 tattoos to make him look like a gangster. People who have to get that kind of attention with the 1,000 tattoos, their lifestyle, they're trying to portray themselves as a real tough guy. Okay. I'm from the hood, kind of a thing, you know. Don't fuck with me. Well, somebody did fuck with him and he didn't do anything about it. He got attacked by somebody. Okay? That was related to YouTube. And I heard he didn't do anything about it. So shut the fuck up, MJ. Please shut the fuck up. It could be him. Somebody just take it on that name. Anyway, I like to bottom line things out on my show. You commit a crime, you're going to do the time. You have the right to defend yourself in any way you can in a legal atmosphere. Everything is taken in consideration. The threats he made to me, if you see in the parking lot, this and that, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you. You might as well take a shovel, get a pile of dirt, dig a hole, get a pile of dirt, okay, jump in the fucking hole, grab the shovel and start pouring dirt on yourself. Because that's exactly what this guy is doing. Not a very intelligent person, obviously. Not very. If he was, he would have never have used his phone while incarcerated. Especially when he had counts against him at the time, and now it's official charge. And he's making shows, doing the same shit over and over again. Prior to, even after getting these charges, he persisted on continuing the nonsense that he's been doing that got him into trouble in the first place. Not a very intelligent person to do that. Patrick Glenn is still hiding. Who's hiding from the Muslims in the Philippines? Oh, is that why he got off YouTube? Well, there's a lot of speculation on that. He's pissed off the Muslims. He pissed off a lot of people. He might be living back in the Philippines now. It's just been one of the best kept secrets, really. Probably living in the same area or close to. Just don't forget his wife has all the family connections in there. Okay? And maybe figured people forgot about him and he's safe to come back to the Philippines. I got an open mind and a suspicion that he's probably living back in the Philippines. He didn't want to go back to work. He had it made in the shade. His daddy or whatever would give him money. You know, you don't have to live on much money in the Philippines. You think he wanted to go back to Texas and have to work his ass off? What would him and his old lady, they were shoveling up chicken feed or something, or some farm or something, some business. They were something like that, having to do with fertilizer or some shit like that. Something to that effect. Yeah, I thought about that. Probably is. He just doesn't want anybody to know. You know, when you repeat the same pattern all the time, nothing good can come out from that. It really takes a damaged brain to repeat doing things that have gotten you into trouble in the first place and expect a positive outcome from doing it again. It doesn't work that way in life. But then again, look who we're dealing with. You know what? Chris and Sabu is a phenom. We don't know. Nobody really knows what happened with him. It's got my curiosity up. Now, think about this for a second. Sniff, sniff. The last videos he was doing, he wasn't going anywhere. That new condo that him and his wife bought, all he was doing was putting his camera out the window and talking. Then it came to a point he wasn't even talking. He just played music without talking, haphazardly. Something was going down. Now, Chris could have had an illness that we didn't know about. For all I know, he might be dead. He could have broken up. His wife could have broken up with him. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes with these people. A lot of people try to come on making them think their life is so freaking wonderful when it's really not behind the scenes. Chris could have had some mental conditions, which I think he was on some kind of a disability status, is my guess. Because his wife had to work as a registered nurse, making all the money. Chris claimed, I remember on one show a long time ago when somebody asked him, how are you surviving out there? He goes, I'm all right. I'm going to be all right for a long time. I'm not worried about it right now. Be a long time before he has to worry about it. In other words, he was set up with some money. Maybe he's getting disability. Maybe he inherited some money, ran out. Who the hell knows? Maybe his wife got tired of him. I don't know. But for Chris not to be on, maybe because of the fact he didn't live close to Fuente, he burned out because that's all he did really was walk around with the camera. Maybe he just decided he had enough. Your guess would be as good as mine. Nico called you and Frank out on a recent live streams. This is being addressed to Big Kevin. You know, I've listened to Nico's shows and I tune in every now and again. And just yesterday or the other day he did a show and he's showing like this hammock that he likes to go on at this place he was staying at. And he just totally disrespected his girlfriend. It goes to show you what the relationship he has, because he made some sexual reference about that hammock. And this is like where I banged the shit out of her. You know, if you respect a woman, even as a friend, even if you're fuck buddies, and you don't have a love interest or anything, you don't talk like that in front of her. Like she's a fucking piece of meat. And Nico did that. Yeah, this is where I banged the shit out of her. She's like right there. Why does she put up with that shit? Well, then again, why is she with him? Well, hey, you know, free trip here and there, wherever he goes. I mean, a lot of these Filipinos have never been out of town. If somebody's willing to pay their way to go visit a resort or some other town, a barangay, or part of the Philippines, what self-respecting Filipina is not going to take advantage of that? Wouldn't you? I would. Yeah. No, we're not a hate channel on here, which is a channel of facts. And all my information I ever talk about here comes off people's channels directly, on camera or off camera, whatever they said. And when we talk about other vloggers or trolls on here, I base it on facts. I base it on reality, on things we've actually heard. That's what my information is not hearsay. It's factual, based on things that everybody else has heard besides myself. That's how it works. But let it all hang out. You got something to say, folks? Say it. It's an open forum. I got 41. Wow, I didn't even really look at the numbers on here. I got 41 people on here. And I happened to, and the reason I put those clips on yesterday in regards to the goober, because I went to check all my clips and stuff, see if I had it on my new phone. And I had all these things. I still had all these things on there. I decided to go through these clips. Of course, some of them are full videos, and I decided to just kind of randomly pick and choose and make a compilation, which I did yesterday, which you all probably heard. It's still on. I didn't take it off. Okay. So Amy is probably Andy Omar. I don't know. Compilation of clips. Well done. Thank you. Okay, so this is... well, you call this channel whatever you want, and you have the ability to watch or don't, and you're welcome to leave, but don't let the door, hit you on the way out. There you go. Bye, Amy. Of course, it's not an Amy. It's a troll. Anyway, that's what it comes down to. Evidence is really important in any case. The very fact that, look at it this way in a judge. The judge looks at this guy. He knows already he has no respect for the law. 7.5-year overstayer. That ain't gonna ride very well with the judge. I don't think so. Okay? I just don't think it's gonna go very well with the judge. So if the judge is gonna look at that as the first thing on there, he's gonna say, well, shit, he's in here for cybercrime, but look at this guy. He's already got a background, history already in this country as a foreigner. The damn guy didn't respect the law. Doesn't know how to respect the law, in fact. 7.5 years, and he's incarcerated. Well, the judge is going to look at that too. Don't think he's not going to look at that. He already knows that now. So, and by the way, enjoy this opportunity about this topic matter because, as I said, I'm really kind of fading away from talking about all this shit. But since I had put the compilation videos on there, that gave me a little poetic license to have a show this morning. This was my own doing that I put that on there. Nobody forced me to. But I happened to come in these clips, and I didn't realize I had all of them that I did. My God, the clips I've had. How's that, mop head? Good? There we go. All right. Yeah, so I decided to have a show that's kind of an open forum today and discuss this a little bit because I think things sometimes need to be discussed, not but to be. That's what I do on my show. Bummer has already gotten used to. Well, you have to understand, it's probably the best living conditions he's ever had. No rent, no electricity. And by the way, they do feed him. Of course they do. Oh, I haven't eaten, only eaten maybe once today. There's not a goddamn thing that comes out of this guy's mouth that's even remotely truthful. Yeah, Nico has clowned up on Big Kevin. He's clowned up on everybody. Nico and Popeye are like little chihuahuas. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. 46 strong. What the fuck is going down in Funky Town today? Dang, brothers. Let me ask you all a question. You can put a number 1 for yes and number 2 for no. Let's do a poll. And I guess the question's going to be, and let's come up with a good one here. My existence on YouTube here, through the years, have I been an asset to the community? And that could be in many different ways. And you could interpret that in many different ways. Have I stood up to the community? Have I proved myself to be right just about every single time? Have I dished out more plates of crow than anybody else on YouTube? 1 for yes or 2 for no. So all we got to do is put a 1 or a 2 if you're willing to put your comment. We got 50 viewers today. Bobby McGee comes in with a 1. Okay, let's get your poll up there. Josh Suarez says 1. Hell yeah. I studied a narcissist 1. Puerto Rican experience 1. Gabriel 1. Bobby McGee again. Well, is that a repeat? 1. Big Bill, and I know who that is, by the way, has a 2. It's okay. Put your numbers in there. Now, second poll question. Okay, we won on this one. Second poll question. Do you believe half the shit that I've been accused of on YouTube? Do you believe that my intent has always been ill intent? Or do you feel that the only thing I've ever done on here was to defend myself? One or two. One is yes, two is no. Bring it on, brothers. One or two, I'll accept either one of them. Saying, I'm not gonna block you, Big Bill. You have an opinion. Bobby says, number one. Patrick Glenn is a 1.5. That's interesting. Big Bill is a 1.5. Josh Juarez is a 1. We're in a good direction. Puerto Rican 1.5. I love that 1.5. You guys. Yeah. Look, I never came on YouTube to start trouble with anybody. It's just that when things get a little bit carried away, you have choices to make. You can get off YouTube, sure, you could do that. But when family becomes involved, then, you have to put your dukes up and say, if we have to fight this shit out, we're going to have to do that shit. Since in this country, you certainly don't want to get into physical confrontation with anybody. You got to do things legally. You definitely didn't start it, but you always finish it. That's the truth, and that is the truth. Well, not that they're scared of me. They're scared of the truth, of being told. All right, sorry about that. I was in a bad spot. So I'm moved now. I was in a bad spot. So I had a little connection problem there. So we're back in action again here now. Okay. We went from 40 down to 15, probably my connection problems, but I think I've remedied it for now anyway. It's Frank. What are you talking about? Okay. No, it's my connection. I was in a spot that was actually not very good. So I went from 40 down to 19 because I guess I was having connection problems. Okay. No, we had 45, excuse me. No, 50. 45 or 50, somewhere around there. The guy asked if it's your connection or his. No, it was my connection. I was in a bad spot in my house. I should have known better to go there because I've always had a problem with that spot. Okay, numbers are gonna build up again. No, we're back. It's just, I'm sorry. I don't have the best internet in the world just to begin with, but there are dead spots outside the house that if I go there, it's gonna create a problem in the connection. So sorry about that. Yeah. Let me make something perfectly clear. I don't get pleasure out of this shit. I don't get pleasure of having to go to court, have to do all this crap. I will have pleasure with the results, and so far I'm very happy. So far I'm very happy. He's going to be going on his 10th month incarcerated. Some people might say that's punishment enough for him, but it's really not. We're only starting, and this thing could take quite a while. So while this thing goes on in court, we don't know how long that's going to take either, and he's still going to be incarcerated while the case is going on. So if he's bitching and whining about how long he's been incarcerated, well, he's going to be hanging around for quite a while, because my understanding is that he probably will be transferred to either Argyle or one of the other places. It's kind of standard issue in a way, because now we've got a criminal issue here. Charges have gone down officially, and yes, they are charges. What an idiot he is. I'm not charged with anything. Well, you wouldn't be going to court and having a trial if you were not charged. Really. Well, Barry could think, Barry never thought either he'd wind up in jail for immigration and get caught either. Was he right about that? Was he right about anything so far? Different way of looking at things. Well, he wasn't. Where is he? Yeah. Frank, if you had a chance to go back in time, would you meet up again with Ricky Drama? No, I wouldn't. Ricky is just not the kind of person you could ever trust. There's something wrong with this guy. There's no doubt about that. He's not all there. It's not my kind of people. Not even remotely. It's not my kind of people. Not even remotely. Not even. Everybody's got some burden they're carrying around with them. They all got skeletons in their closet, but they're not going to announce them on YouTube. They're just going to try to depict their life as being, I'm doing the greatest, I live in a 5-star lifestyle. Not really. When their health is deteriorating, look what happened to Fazio. Look, I'm not going to build up Fazio greater than life. No problem. I'm not. As I said, maybe some of you don't know all the details of what I went through with this guy. Most of you probably don't. He was a pain in the proverbial ass. And he did some things that weren't cool, so forgive me for not shedding a tear that he passed away. The only thing I feel sorry for him is the fact that who he has become, or who he had become, was based in part on loneliness and his ill ways, scamming people. Probably did it all his fucking life. Even his brother is not really gung-ho on him. He's done a lot of wrong to people, not just me. So sorry if you expect me to change my opinion because the guy passed on. It doesn't change the fact of what he did. By the way, why do you call Brevis Blind Brevis? Where did that name come up? I'm just curious. I noticed you've been using it as a reference to Brevis. Where did this thing Blind Brevis? I'm curious about that. Where did that name come up? Why do you call him? I could think of one thing, but I won't say it. But where did that come up from? Just curious. Am I going to get an answer to that, or am I going to hold up the whole show with that? Okay. Ricky aligns himself with all the losers. Bummer, Willie, Ben, etc. He is not killing it. The one thing is why. What one thing? Say it. Why do you call him Blind Brevis? Just come out with it. Why is he Blind Brevis? I can think of a lot of names for that guy, but where does Blind Brevis come in? All right, we're getting our numbers back up here again. Tell you what, we've been getting a lot of views to my shows. I've noticed, I've seen the stats going on. We've been getting more subscribers. We've been getting a lot more viewers. Usually when I end my show, it'll say how many people have viewed the channel. It's quite a bit actually for my channel. Is that a play on his telescope obsession? I don't know. Well, ask away, Patrick. I'm still trying to puzzle out what's on the screen. Oh, it's a beam of light, like an event happening. You know, the stage lights go on. This is a beam of light. Okay. Rather than being a blank screen, I decided to have something on there since I'm not on camera. Something to look at anyway. I could change that. You want bubbles? I'll give you bubbles. Does that make you feel better? I don't know. Give you whatever you want. Well, most. Here's bubbles. The light was good. Okay, we'll have to go back to the light. Here we go. Then there was light. Did you and your brother laugh at each other after you got in the van when you filmed the dog shit in Hawaii? Oh, gosh. You want me to address this? Really? Sorry about the dog in the background. Well, it was funny, actually. You know, in retrospect, and I look back on that. See, the guy in that video with the dog shit thing, yeah, he was pretty well known in the neighborhood to be very unfriendly with people. He was one of those mainlanders that kind of had an attitude that he brought with him to Hawaii. He didn't own that property where the dog shit anyway. That was not his property. That belonged to the community. That was community property. It was the Third Acres Community Association was not his personal property. Anything behind from his fence onward to his house is his property. Okay. And generally, we do pick up the dog shit. But it was my brother who had walked the dog. Sometimes he found it hard to lean down to do it, and he let the dog shit in front of the place. Now, as a courtesy, yes, you picked that up. Okay, when I realized that there was dog shit there, I did pick it up. And he made a big issue out of it. He just continued and continued. I just said, fuck this shit. I was in no mood that morning. I wasn't in a great mood to begin with. And he kind of edged me on, so I gave him literally shit about the whole situation. That's all it was. Oh, which reminds me, I gotta do my treadmill. I'd rather do it earlier in the morning than I'm doing it now. I don't want it to become a chore. When something becomes a chore, then I don't do it on a regular basis. I don't want to look at it as a chore. Hey man, I'm just speaking my mind. He spoke his mind and I spoke mine. I wasn't gonna hold back. The guy was a creep. When you don't know somebody, don't make an evaluation of somebody because you don't know them. This guy was a creep all the way around. He was known in the neighborhood to be a troublemaker. He was very mouthy. So what you don't know is a lot of background shit. No, I get to get better videos than that, but I like that one myself, actually. I still have a copy of that, actually. That's the best video on YouTube. Okay, glad you liked it. I liked it. I didn't mind anybody playing that because I thought it was funnier than shit. And I was serious, too. I was pissed at this guy. I said, look, I came over there to pick the goddamn shit up, man. What are you bitching about? That was a courtesy, yes, if you're going to walk your dog. And we normally carry these little shit bags with it. They're little plastic bags you can buy at the pet shop. It's made, not even that. You use plastic bags from the store. Turn it inside out with your hand. You pick up the shit, turn it inside out. Your hand doesn't have to touch the shit. Bag it up and throw it away. I was always courteous whenever I walked my brother's dog. I was courteous when I had my dog Maggie. My love, Maggie. I miss her to death. I used to pick up all her dog shit all the time. Anyway, this show's not about dog shit, but, thanks for the discussion anyway. I think you scared the guy like a bat out of hell. Well, that was the idea. Oh, I don't know. I think he was an ex-serviceman or something like that. I think he served somewhere. I don't know. But the way he came out from his yard like a bat out of hell, actually, he used the same expression. He came out of his yard like, oh my God, what did I just do? I came there to pick up the damn shit. And then he comes there and starts giving me shit for picking up this shit. I wasn't going to deal with that. I remember, I don't know what it was for, but I was in a bad mood that morning to begin with. And that's all I needed was some shit from him, literally. And I didn't want to hear it. So I gave him a mouthful. Very deserved, actually. Ed Lippett looks, what? I got this thing in the middle of the phone. What is this? Over? Orientation is locked. Rotate device back. Why does this thing have to show up on my, I don't know why. Okay. Hawaii was one of the first states to legalize same-sex marriage. It's rampant there. It's rampant. I can tell you that. You got more dykes on bikes there that you could throw a stick at, I'll tell you that. Well, other than maybe Seattle. Seattle's basically run by that group of people, from mayor to you name it. They won't even arrest them. If they commit a crime, they won't even arrest them. That's how much clout they have. MJ is nobody to me. He's a non-entity. You only got more mad on YouTube at Brutally Lauren. Oh, God, Brutally Lauren. Won't even go there with her. Or it, whatever she or it is. I think she's gotten thrown off YouTube more than probably anybody in YouTube history. She bases her shows on hate and trying to entrap people in situations. She lives for that stuff. She's probably one of the more intense vloggers in YouTube history, actually, to get into trouble that way. Yeah, she's still around. She's look under that same name. She might have a different name of the channel, but it'll probably bring you to her current channel. She's been kicked off so many times, I can't even count. But then again, I don't know. I don't watch her show. I don't even go there. I have no reason to. I find her to be very vile, distasteful, not anything to particularly want to look at. Nevertheless, listen to her show. Yeah, I'm sure it is. She won't get off. She's making money on her show. She's always lived on limited income, so she's not going to get rid of her show. That's why when she gets knocked off, she'll go out and reinvent her show again, pretty much. Okay, I don't want to spend my whole morning. I did this yesterday, and I can't avoid doing my treadmill. I got to go do that. Since I had put this compilation of videos with the idiot, I thought I would do a show this morning and address some of these things. And again, it still stands. That's not the topic matter on my show, and I don't want to continue in that direction. I let this be kind of an open chat this morning to kind of get it out of your system, because I know you want to. Yeah, she's still around. Yeah. But it all comes down to one thing. When you break the fucking law and you truly break the law, you got to pay the price. When you have no respect for the law, let me tell you something. You have a problem in life, who do you call? You call the police. But you don't knock the police either, like he did. He mocked and knocked the whole system, from prosecutors to judge to my lawyer to the cops. He's pretty vile. He's a very vile person. And by, of course, no disclaimer needed, by his own demonstration, he has proved to every one of us that he's not working on all 6 cylinders, apparently. Well, Roberto doesn't like anybody. I don't think Roberto even likes himself. Why don't we just say what it is? I don't think he even likes himself. I don't think he even likes his own life. And that's why he's so volatile with me and other people. It's kind of funny how Popeye did it was kind of a tribute show or something about Fazio, and he was kind of taking the better side of the fence. When the fact is, Popeye did not like Fazio. Then somebody dies, and all of a sudden they're taking the high road, just like John Blaze was taking the high road. when it came to Fazio because he didn't like Fazio. He didn't like Fazio. He had problems with him. Yeah, Roberto is a racist. There's no doubt about that. There's no question. From his own demonstration, and I always use those words. A lot of people got problems here on YouTube, but they're not my problems, and they're not gonna make their problems mine. I'm gonna handle things the way I think I should handle them. Always with a lot of thought behind it. And when I start something, I will finish it. John Blaze, the prison farm warden. Who knows? Who the hell knows? They get scared now and then and they back off. You ever notice that happens a lot? I exposed who he was. He didn't like it. Well, then don't talk about me that way. Don't call my girlfriend a fucking concubine. Which is his way of trying to get away with, calling her a prostitute by calling her a concubine. Because if you look up the definition of concubine, it doesn't necessarily mean a prostitute, but he meant it in that way. Everybody gets theirs in the end, one way or the other. Fazio got his. Ricky's probably next. He's my next prediction. Tell me if I'm right or wrong in time. Ricky is my next prediction for something catastrophic. What is this thug shaker thing? I hear this expression, do the jug shake. What is this thug? A thug means a criminal. So what is a thug staker? Don't be cryptic. Tell me what exactly is a thug shaker. Educate me if I'm not educated on this. A thug shaker. Explain. Or not. Okay, we're going to have to get off here. I got some things I got to do, necessary to do. A nice dance. Well, I'm on here for your entertainment, but I'm not going to be dancing on camera. I'm not in the mood. But thanks for asking. Yeah, I got talent. Of course I got talent. The man's got talent. Either do you don't. Please make a surprise appearance on a live show and stir them up. YouTube needs some energy. It's getting boring on the other shows. It certainly is, isn't it? Okay, so we had our moment today to get into a topic matter that I wanted to avoid. We got that out of my system. You got that out of your system. So everybody happy? Okay, let's go back to business. And like I said, let the court system handle all the shit going on. Time will tell where it winds up. I don't think it's going to be anything good for this guy. I can't see how. But I'm not the judge. Here come the judge. Here come the judge. When he puts that gavel down, that's going to be the moment that we're waiting for. When that gavel hits the desk, a decision is made, and we will know his future. But until then, there's a protocol to follow. There's a trial. There's a trial. Or did he catch himself in some lies? They don't feed me there. Well, they do feed him. They have to. And he orders money from Panda Express. He orders food from Panda Express all the time, so he's got money. He's still in a relationship with his girlfriend. That's another lie. She brings him food. She goes to S&R. She buys some of his favorite junk food that he likes to eat. The boy's got a belly. He's over there. I'm a big guy now. I put on my weight. Yeah, you put on your weight in your belly. That's where you put your weight on, and it's not healthy weight. I still say he can't fight his way out of a goddamn wet paper bag. Nevertheless, to make threats to me. That's a joke. He ran away from MJ, everybody else in the past. He was threatening people left and right. Yeah, come and get me. See what's going to happen. He ran away from every one of these people. Every single one of these people. Every one of them. Every single one of them. Tough guys. Having tattoos and scars mean you're tough? What does that mean exactly? What does that mean? You're a tough guy if you got tattoos? Has no relevance to how tough your character is. A lot of people get tattoos and they wear certain hats and they do this and that to try to make them look tough. It's not a reality. You're either tough or you're not. Is he streetwise? Kind of. Sure. Doesn't mean he's tough. Does he have a big mouth? Yeah. And that's what gets him into trouble all the time. But words don't hold up. Action does. Let him get into a real fight with somebody. He'll avoid it like the plague. I guarantee you that. Did he really burn a girl with cigarettes, or is that just YouTube propaganda? If you listen to, who was it? Came on, Gogo Bobo's sister, I guess passed away. Gogo Bobo's sister came on, probably knowing he was ill. And they had that live show on, and we had some regulars on that show. And he answered their questions about about him. And boy, did they have a story to tell, because they had recorded some things that he said. Yeah, they did. And this guy fully believes. And one of his old girlfriends, I think it was Babes, that made the statement with him and a cigarette cherry. Okay? It's just knowledge that, let's say that we have, and that we probably won't dispute, knowing the kind of character that he is. It would not be past him to do something like that. Okay? Then he tries to avoid the fact that he went to jail in Alabama for beating the shit out of his wife, which he came on a show and he admitted himself about that. You remember he came on a live show and he gave the whole story what has happened. He was pissed off at his wife over custody issue. He admitted it, but now he denies it. And yes, he is worried. He said, well, when I go back to America, it's not going to be Alabama. That's what he said. It don't matter. If there's a felony warrant in the United States on him for child payments, that's going over how many years now and is added up to how much? That's a felony. And immigration would probably have that on record, because what he did was illegal to begin with. He fled the country initially because of his obligations to child support. That's what he did. He left the country to run away from charges on child support. That's exactly what he did. That's why he came to a place called the Philippines. There's the story. Everybody seems to be running away from something, don't they? Kind of seems that way, doesn't it? It sure does. Not towards something, there's a difference. Cockroach finally admitted yesterday on his live stream he had 3 warrants in Alabama. I heard that. No. Forget the traffic. No, okay. There's only one truth in what he's saying. He had traffic warrants, but they were deemed to be criminal warrants. I saw the original paperwork. They weren't your run-of-the-mill traffic violations. They were listed as criminal violations. There's a difference. Criminal. He didn't mention that part, did he? That paperwork was displayed. Somebody had put it up, actually. And that paperwork was displayed. They were criminal traffic violations. March. So there's a lot of stuff that he doesn't want to tell you. Yes, he did have traffic violations. He tried to downplay what they were, but they were criminal. He's got a record. He's definitely got a record in the United States. He's no innocent person there or here. Absolutely not. Well, all I can say is he's going to pay for his fucking crimes. He's going to pay dearly. And this boy you're listening to right here, I'm not backing down on anything. He's been spending a lot of time making shows to try to intimidate me to drop the case. It's as clear as a bell ringing. He's trying, but he's not succeeding. Because he's not going to succeed. No matter how many threats he tries to give me, he's not going to succeed in getting me to drop any charges on him whatsoever. Did the guy from Louisiana put a case on him for his daughter? The guy in Louisiana. You're making me think here. I'm not sure who you're talking about, really. I'm not sure. Well, Water Buzzle, whatever your name is, I'm not going to start explaining the history of somebody here. Let's just say we have a character on YouTube that's committed a lot of crimes. They're called cyber crimes. He's done a lot of wrong things to people. He's done a lot of wrong things to women. In regards to only dating women that have some kind of income so they can support his sorry ass. He's borrowed money from a lot of people, never paid them back. He's done a lot of hurtful things to people. Now it's time for payment. I think Licky is the Achilles heel, and once you get rid of him, you'll have a peaceful time on YouTube. Well, Ricky's time is coming. I was right about Fazio. I'm going to be right about Ricky. Yes, I know Brevis is behind a whole lot of shit on here. I'm well aware of that. Brevis goes under a lot of sock accounts. And you know what? I have a good idea who's behind the Swampcast channel. I'm not going to publicly put out that information. I don't want them to be aware of the fact that I kind of know who they are. Well, as I said, I don't even know how long I'm going to be associated with YouTube. I think maybe subconsciously I'm waiting for this trial thing to be over and get the satisfaction that I need. We've gotten rid of Fazio, who was a big thorn in my foot for years. I'll give you a hint, it is not a vlogger that is behind Swampcast. You're simply meaning that it's not somebody who has a channel. Okay. Well, whoever you think it is, why don't you just come out and say, I'll either agree with you or I won't tell you if I agree with you. I have my idea who it is. Okay. Well, we got a lot of hearsay on here. This is just hearsay. You either know who it is and you're going to say who you think it is, or you don't. Don't pussyfoot around and throw teasers at us. If you know who it is, just say who it is. Bottom line. I won't tell you yes or no whether I agree with you or not. I have my idea who it is. Just say who you think it is. That's all. Just come out with it. I don't know what they are. Just come out who you think it is. I mean, if you're gonna make a statement, finish your statement. That's all I'm saying. Just come out with it. They don't know who you are. You shouldn't give a shit. Really. Just come out and say who you think it is. It either is or not. Anyone want to take a big guess on this one? He's just some loser obsessed until he tries to vlog. Is he, in your mind, someone that comes on here and makes comments a lot, that doesn't have a show? Is that what's going on? He's a commenter, right? Very limiting. Oh, you saying he used to be part of Phelps' past or something? That must have meant that he was involved with some of the broadcasts or comments. Isn't Flying Circus the same person as DNC? Why don't you just spit it out? Never mind the hearsay, just spit it out. Well, you're not spitting it out. No. No, it's not focus. Crazy eyes. Boy, I remember those days. No, it wasn't focus photo. No. DQ, huh? Say the name. Okay, well, look, I'm at that point where this just kind of becomes a game here. I got things to do, so either you just come on and spell it out or you don't. Otherwise, I just consider it to be hearsay, which everybody else is on YouTube here. If you think you know who it is, just spit it out and say the person's name. Okay. Well, you know my email address, Heminger. You know who it is, write me. I got a very good idea who it is, actually. It has to do with wording. I follow this stuff. How they structure sentences that I've seen time and time again. I'm not going to say who I think it is. No, I'll keep that to myself. But if you're not in a position to come out and say, then everything is hearsay. I'm not going to deal with that. I have my good idea who it is, and for my own reasons, I'm not going to disclose it on here. I was just curious as to who you thought it was. That's all. It's funny you say Turtle. Turtle has a whole lot of shit against me. He was one of my candidates initially. And the other one that I thought in the past that it might be actually Peckerwood, because Peckerwood, I don't think he has the talents to do some of the things they've been doing, but Peckerwood has it out for me in a big way. So I had him on my list. I had Turtle Man on my list. Oh, most definitely. They were definitely on my list. And of course, Roberto was on my list too. Okay, look, you either say who it is or you don't. I'm not into this games. I'm really not. If you know who it is, just spell it out and say who the fuck it is. Otherwise, I'm just gonna ban you on my channel. I'm not into games anymore. I'm not into this shit. If you know who it is, say who it is. Never stopped you before on anybody else or making comments on somebody's shows. A Dave Crony, but he doesn't have a vlog. And you're saying that he doesn't make comments either, is what you're saying. Oh yeah, Roberto has it out. But I read what they I see the language, the structure in a sentence, and I came to my own conclusion, but I'm not going to give you my conclusion. And I have reasons why I won't. Okay, I'm done with this. We got a lot of people on here today. I hate to go off, and I got a good audience, but I'm sorry, but I do have things that I need to do. I've been on here a little longer than I wanted to be. I thought it was going to be a short live this morning, but it turned out to be a hell of a lot longer than I wanted to be. So let's bottom line this out. You saw a video yesterday with some little excerpts of Big Mouth and why he's in so much trouble, and make him reflect on the things that he said, and that's why I did that. And we had an open forum today where I was allowing people to bring up the topic, since I had given you a little poetic license to do so because I did a show in reference to him yesterday. And that's where it starts, and that's where it's going to end. Okay, thanks for listening, guys. And whoever subscribed, thank you. Our subscribership is going up a little bit here, I've noticed. I appreciate that. Let's just say it could be anyone, but I in particular have my own ideas, and for good reason. I pay attention to detail. Not many people do that, but I do. So I have a pretty, I'd say about 95% accuracy on who this person could be. Well, I'm earning them. I'm not buying them, that's for sure. Okay, right on, folks. Appreciate you coming by. Whether your statements were lame or not, you did come by my channel, so thank you for stopping by. And we got to do this again sometime. See what I'm saying? We got to do this again sometime. So do come back, do subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. If you like the show, you know. If you don't like the show, don't let the door hit you on the way out. You don't have to come back. If you like the show, give me a like, do subscribe, and we'll see you again. But we're going to end it right here. And let's kind of move on with a little more interesting topics than the same lame shit that we've been covering for a long time. Fazio's gone. We got another guy that's going to wind up in long-time jail. We want a good roll here. Let's keep the roll going. It's old hat. And let's get into some new hat. See what I'm saying? All right, thank you. Good show. Well, guys, catch you somewhere along the line, I'm sure.